Hello. Today we're going to talk about how you can keep those employees. We're going to talk about employee retention techniques and things that you can do to master the art of engagement. Why? Because it's hard to find great help. And if you found them, don't let them go unless you have to. If you're new here, my name is Taylor Darcy from Think Legal, where I help people and businesses thrive. I go live more often than not, but recently that's been not. But I do go live Monday through Friday at 11 right now, so feel free to stop in and join me. I'm actually going to be adding some new lives, some more Q&A type sessions that are going to be more based on things that you just want to have questions about, things that you want to talk about, so that the topic will be yours. So I'm going to do those coming soon, just to give you additional help for your business. Let's get started. First of all, this is not an exhaustive list. And this is certainly, you can always add to these things. But the important thing to remember is you've invested a lot of time and money into getting employees, right? Like it's not a short process. So if you've found the right employees, you want to keep them. Letting them go and not having these things is significantly worse. You want to have these things. These are important to you because what it costs you versus what it gets you is significantly different. So first is you want to create an engaging onboarding process. What does that look like? You want to go through everything that they need to be successful with their job to begin with. What does that look like? Having HR go through all of their paperwork, their benefits, their pay, any type of contracts, legal stuff that you're going to need to help them understand their position. You're also going to want to go through any training on any types of systems that they may have. Unless they have experience specifically with that system, and even if they do, you as an employer are going to want them to do it the way that you want them to do it, not necessarily the way they've done it in other jobs. So it's very important that you're giving them the tools that they need to be successful. There's nothing more frustrating than for someone, I've done that, where they just, you're hired, you start, and it's up to you to figure it out. Nobody shows them how to do it. There's no onboarding process. You don't feel part of the team yet. And that's a process. And so having this onboarding experience is going to give them the opportunity to be as successful as possible. It's an opportunity for you to bring them onto the team and make them feel a part of it, right? But by training them and giving them these opportunities, you're going to find that they're going to be significantly more happy than if you just kind of ignore it and let them do the thing that they're going to do. All right, so that's number one. Number two, and this one is very important because they're going to have some questions that they may not want to ask their boss, okay? So you're going to want to pair them with a non-boss mentor, someone that has no say in how they're perceived in the company, like as far as like review time and goes. Pairing them with a mentor, someone that they can ask questions and maybe go to lunch with, maybe even pay to have them go to lunch with the first week. I don't know. Get creative about how that mentor relationship goes. If you're a solo and you're just starting out, and yes, that might be you. But by bringing this, we are social creatures. And by bringing them on and having them have a mentor, they're going to feel more a part of that team and be more successful. So pair them with a mentor. It's important if it can be a non-boss, be a non-boss, right? Ask for volunteers from your company, people that you trust to represent you well, that don't have issues, that will be a good guide, right? And have a mix of people, because it's not every person is going to be a great mentor to every person. Having a mix of people will give you the most flexibility to pair them with the person that will help them the most. The goal is to help them feel like they are part of the team, to bring them in and make them feel that they are important and that they are valued and that they are crucial to your success. That's number two. This one might get a little pushback, but I think it's important that you recognize how important reviews are. Okay. From the day they start, I want you to have scheduled intermittent reviews. Now, these are not necessarily the like pay, like, full review. That should come after a year, right? Like you need good time. They need good time to feel like they're a good fit for that company. But, they should have these reviews first after their first week, after their first month, after their first 3 months. All of these time periods are crucial to give you the feedback that you need as an employer to see if they're progressing in a meaningful way with your company. And that can only be done through the review process. So it's a group effort here. This is a team thing. This is not you giving them feedback and them having no say in what happens. It should be a mutual review situation, right? How are things going? What can be different? Are you having any problems with anything? Are you making sure that they're receiving the help that they need to do their job the best way possible? Okay, so that's number 3. Schedule employee reviews from day one. There's nothing more frustrating. And I've been here. I've had good bosses and bad bosses. And the good bosses are the ones that are proactive about me being successful within that role. Okay. So schedule these reviews from day one. Make sure that they feel valued from day one and that their feedback is valued. And we'll talk about that in just a little bit more. The next one, and this one is probably the easiest of all of them because it takes the least amount of difficulty. Show your appreciation. People don't come for the money. Not always. There are people that are only motivated by money, but most people are motivated by having contribution to the work, right? It's not about the money. It's about them feeling valued about what they're doing. And so by you showing appreciation, and you can do this, it can be as simple as a thank you. It can be movie tickets. It can be lunch out with pay and pay for the lunch. It could be, there's so many ways that you can do that. Letting them go home early if they're finished with their work, the thing that they need to do, if they're at a 9 to 5 type thing. There's all sorts of creative ways you can say thank you to your employees. It does not have to be the traditional things that they do. Find out what they value, right? Like there's nothing worse than if they value time off and you give them something else, right? If their value is this, make sure that you're working with them to give them that, right? Don't give them something they don't want, a cheesy something that just doesn't have value to them. Provide the value to them. There's a book called Giftology. It's an excellent book. I highly recommend it. And the premise is you give the people something that has value to them, not that has value to you. So, for instance, if you're thinking about giving out swag to your employees, right, like that company swag, okay, you can do that, but guess what? Most employees don't care about your swag, just like most clients don't care about your swag. It'll go sit in a drawer somewhere and it's going to be a waste most of the time, okay? But, okay, and this is something that I do. I give Yeti, okay, the Yeti cups, okay, that are personalized with my client's name on them to my clients, okay? Why? Because it's something valuable. It's something that they can carry with them. It's something that they will appreciate. If they're a water drinker, coffee drinker, whatever drinker, everybody needs to drink, right? And on top of that, people love to see their own name. If you're in a service industry or a business where you can get their logo, find a way to put their logo on something for them. They will always remember that thing that you give them with that logo on it, right? Or the name of their business, if that's the case. So that's just a side note. But just keep these thoughts in mind. Give gifts that are valuable to them, not valuable to you, okay? Full disclosure, and I've been here, done this. My brother used to do this to me during Christmas. He would give me gifts that he actually wanted, I didn't want. And so after Christmas, when I obviously would stop playing with it, if I played with it at all, he would take it and make it his. So that's the type of mentality that you need to avoid. You need to avoid the mentality that you're going to give something that benefits you, which is why I don't recommend swag. And that's why the book Giftology does not recommend swag. And anybody that's worth their weight in salt doesn't recommend swag, right? Because you're receiving the benefit for giving it out. People see that and they don't like it. And I don't disagree with them. All right, so show your appreciation in a way that lets them feel valued. That way, that will help them stay with you. And you need to do this. I think it goes without saying, but as one of my law professors used to say, if it goes without saying, it usually goes better with saying. And that is, these should be done throughout. These should not be done where you love bomb them, so to speak, the first week, month, 90 days, that type of thing. And then after that, you treat them like junk, right? Like these are things that you need to be actively doing over time, consistently, to show the appreciation that your employees for the work that they're performing. All right. Next thing is encourage a work-life balance. Don't just accept it. Everybody has different things that motivate them in life. If they have a family and spending time with their kids is what motivates them, they're here to work, they want to do their job, they'll do their job well, but you giving them time off and not expecting them to work extra hours unless absolutely necessary by hiring other people to do jobs rather than them doing 2 and 3 jobs, this work-life balance, people will appreciate that one of the most. And they will give you, studies have shown that the 4-day work week is more efficient and more effective, right? Because you get 3 days off that has more value to that employee. But encouraging this work-life balance, yes, things need to get done. But, and I'm a big believer in this, if the work's getting done, why do you care when it gets done? Okay? If it doesn't need to be done during the work hours, 9 to 5, and they're working on it on their time, they take time off to go to their kids' book fair or whatever it is. Giving that extra, encouraging it though, not just accepting it, right? Because at the end of the day, we are people, we are human beings that have lives outside of work. Work is a portion of that life, not all of that life. And we need to make sure that we are respecting that part of it, right? If people are sleeping 8 hours, working 8 hours, then they have 8 hours between commute and other stuff. That's not a lot of time. And so by giving them, like encouraging that, you're going to maintain much better relationships between you and your employees than if work comes first and to hell with everything else, and they're frustrated and they're pissed off because you think you're more important than their family, or you think you're more important than their health or their sleep, or fill in the blank. Guess what? You are only as important as the money that you provide to them. Okay? That's the truth. That is the solid truth. And if you're not doing that, that's a different topic. Next thing, and that's number 5. Offer professional development opportunities. And I'm going to say go even further with this one. Okay? Not just professional opportunities that benefit you as an employer. I had an employer once, I'm not going to name them, that the only way that you could get tuition reimbursement was if you were pursuing a degree in a relevant field to your job. Now you may be thinking, well, yeah, of course that makes sense, because why would you pay for education for somebody that isn't going to benefit you as a company? But here's the thing, all education benefits you as a company, right? You don't know what creative ideas could come from an education that doesn't appear to work for your company, okay? That education could be invaluable, and it shows that you value them as a person more than you value that cost of business, that business that they could potentially generate by having that work or that education. So provide professional development opportunities, retreats, workshops, formal education, if that's what matters to them. Whatever it may be, there's nothing more satisfying than feeling like your company values you enough to invest in you, spend money in your development as a human being and professionally as well. All right, so that's number 6. Number 7, I put it at number 7 for a reason, and I think this is probably one of the best ways that you can keep your employees, is provide highly competitive compensation and benefits. Highly competitive. Not just like if you're at the bottom of the range, then you can expect to get bottom of the barrel talent, right? Why? Because those are the types of people that will accept that type of job. You want to find the rock stars, the people that are going to perform the absolute best. And that takes money. That takes benefits. If you can't afford to pay that, then don't hire for it. Okay? Highly competitive. And I know this goes against this. I hear you. This goes against some of the more common, like Wall Street, bottom line only perspective. Okay? I completely grasp that. But here's the thing. If you're paying for a rock star and you're getting a rock star performance, right, then you're going to have a more successful business. They're going to put the work in and they're going to be more efficient and more effective at their job when they feel that they are very well compensated. The people that slack off and do junk at their job are typically the ones that are resentful of the employers, and they are like, I'm getting paid nothing for this job. I'm doing it because I need it and I can't go anywhere else, right? Be the better employer, okay? We need more of that, not less of that. We've seen what happens when people treat people like crap, okay? Don't be that way. Don't be the people that are treating your employees like crap, okay? Treat your employees as good as humanly possible. Now, some of you are sitting there, and I've been here, done that. I'll be honest with you. But what if they take advantage of me? Well, that's on them, not on you. That's on them, right? You're like, that's my money. No, it's money, okay? Don't get attached to the money. If they're not performing, and that's a different topic, right? Their money is not the same thing as their performance. Their money is the compensation that you provide for their performance. And if if you're paying them a highly competitive salary and benefits, and they're not performing, well, then yes, you do need to let them go, right? Your expectations is this: I'm paying you well, and you're not working up to that expectation, therefore they must go, okay? One of my mentors says, hire slow, fire fast, right? Take your time, get to know these people, do the interview process, do the things to do that you need to do to hire those rock stars, expecting that rock star performance, right? We're treating them like human beings still. But if they're not performing, then you may have to part ways with them, and do so respectfully and quickly, okay? It's not a good fit. And respect that it's not a good fit. Not every job you start is going to be a job you're going to be with. If it's not a good fit, better to find out now than to be 20 years or 10 years from now or whatever, and they be terrible at their job and you're hating it. So respect the fact that it's not a good fit, but always pay that highly competitive, because you'll never get the best if you're not willing to pay for it. All right, next. And this one can get a little pushback. This is number 8. Implement team building activities. Now, anybody that's ever done a project in school hates team building activities that I've ever known. Here's the key, though. The key to building effective team building activities is have it something where everybody is benefited by its success. Now, what you can do in that respect, that's up to you. You can get creative on this. But these team building activities is an opportunity for people to get to know each other in a way that they wouldn't otherwise get to know each other. Okay? Because when you're doing your job and everybody else is doing their job and you're busy doing your job, and that's all you have the reference are. So maybe the team building activity has nothing to do with some cheesy trust exercise or some cheesy opportunity, that you're going to do this. Take them out for, if you do the happy hour thing, or if you do dinner, or if you do lunch, and with no strings attached. Give them the opportunity to build relationships without a forced environment, right? If you just bring in lunch occasionally and they all go back to their offices and work and eat, that's not effective. But if you bring in lunch and everybody has paid hour off, okay, to eat their lunch, and maybe they need to go do something that day and they don't get to. And that's okay, right? You recognize everybody's scenario is different, but you provide this opportunity, hour off for lunch, lunch is paid, go enjoy. Go spend time with your coworkers in a non-working setting. That's just one idea. There's lots of ideas that you can have that you can do team building that doesn't suck. Because I've been there where it's like, and you have to fill out these weird surveys and you have to reveal all this personal data to the entire room and you all have to get up and participate and you're annoyed by it and it's stupid. Okay? I hate those things. And I don't know too many employees that do like those things. Find other ways to build your team, right? Sending them to a retreat together, a spa day together. There's so many great options, right? But find what they value and find a way to do that. Take surveys, polls. What do you like to do? Baseball game, football game, fill in the blank. There's lots of opportunities here. Tons. Maybe you go tour a museum. I don't know. Again, team building exercises don't have to be a trust fall game, right? All right. That's number 8. Number 9, offer more perks. Here's a great one. Offer dry cleaning. If that's something that would be beneficial to your employees. Offer, let's see what else. Lunch is a great one, if that's possible. Offer car wash services, okay? Offer mobile oil change services, right? Pay someone to come and have someone come and change your employees' oil, right? Set it up for once a month, whatever. Okay, these are all ideas that will help them feel a part of your team and a part of your life. And imagine that you don't have to spend your entire Saturday running errands because your boss cares enough about you during the week to hire these people. Imagine not having to spend that extra 15 minutes running by the dry cleaner to get your clothes dry cleaned because your boss has them come pick it up for you. Okay. These are all just ideas. Like, come up with ideas. Sit down and brainstorm how you can help. What are ways that you can make your employees' lives better? Here's a good one. This is a great one. Say you have an employee of the month. Anybody who gets employee of the month, per department, per whatever, they get a free house cleaning. Okay? You pay Molly Maid or whoever, your local maid service, to come and clean their house once a month for one time. Not necessarily you do it, but that type of idea, those are the things that you want to do. That's a perk that, imagine being like, oh, I don't want to give up that perk. I have an awesome business. I have a boss I have a job that I love, and I have all of these extra perks that make my life better and easier. Imagine then saying, okay, then how did they give that up? They're not going to give it up. Okay, next. Number 10, and this is one of the most important, okay? This is you take note of number 10. Keep communication lines open. Do not have an open door policy and then close your door all the time. Okay? Your words and your actions have to matter, have to be consistent. If you say, I have an open door policy, but you always close your door, then you don't have an open door policy. If you make someone schedule an appointment with you, then you don't have an open door policy with your employees, okay? So be very careful in what you're communicating to your employees via action as well as words. Make them consistent or don't do them. Don't say you have an open door policy if you don't, okay? And I'm just using that as for instance. When it comes to communication, that's the other key is when you're in a boss a superior subordinate relationship, it can be very intimidating for the subordinate to come to you as a superior to talk to you. So have other ways that they can communicate with you about things that they need to communicate with you. Okay. And in some instances, it might be uncomfortable, but the important part is that it gets done. Communication is absolutely paramount. You don't know what's going on inside someone's life or mind. So by being open to and listening to the communication of your employees and showing and understanding that, you will have a much more successful employee-employer relationship. Okay? So that's number 10. Be open to different means of communication. If someone prefers to text you their problems and talk about it that way, then be open to that. Why? Because sometimes sitting face-to-face with your boss is really hard, but sending that text message might be easier. If you have Slack or Microsoft Teams, fill in the blank. There's lots of options for communication that can aid in that communication and help build relationships with your employees. All right. Number 11, ask for employee feedback. Recognize you are a human being and not perfect, okay? If you're not perfect, don't expect your employees to be perfect. But ask for that feedback. Ask for the opportunity to do better, okay? Be strong, be courageous, and accept that feedback, right? And in some instances, it needs to be anonymously, simply because people don't feel comfortable coming forward if they feel like that their job is at stake if they say something. So there's going to be feedback that's going to happen naturally, not honestly. And then there's going to be other feedback that needs to be done anonymously, okay? Allowing for that, giving them the opportunity to provide that feedback is going to create that opportunity for them to feel, again, valued and that they want to stay with you. That's the goal. Rockstar employee plus them staying for as long as it's beneficial for both parties. That's the best relationship. All right, we're almost done here. I know it's been a long one. We've been on for a bit now, but this one is really good. This one isn't as crucial as some of the others, but this kind of puts everything into a nice package. This puts everything into that bow, into a way that is going to build a better business. You may not think you have this, but you do. And you need to look at it critically and evaluate it for what it is. And this part of it is this: create a better work culture. If you struggle with something, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But recognize what you struggle with and do better, okay? Especially if it's just you and your employee. But if you're struggling, don't just continue to do the same thing you've always done. But working towards a better culture at your office, at the company as a whole, is going to pay amazing dividends. People are going to love you, and people are going to love working with you and for you. Not everybody is perfect in this. And if you have to outsource this to build that culture, then do it, right? Recognizing that some people have strengths for things that other people do not. All right. So that's it. Those are the ways that you can master the game of employee retention. These are just ideas. These are things that you're going to want to pay attention to and sit down and write these things out. How can you make these things better, right? Come up with those real ideas. Don't just listen to what I'm saying and then ignore it and go on your day. Sit down today, right after you get off of here, and start writing out ideas on how you can perform these steps to give you the best opportunity to keep those employees that are working so hard for you. Okay, as a society, as a culture, we've lost perspective on these things. We no longer value these things as much as we should. So I encourage you to get back to the things that help people see that they matter to you as an employer. All right, that's it. As always, if you've gotten value out of this video, don't forget to subscribe and like and know we go live Monday through Friday, most weeks at 11 a.m. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye. And I finally fixed that. Yay! Woohoo! Bye.